Welcome to another episode of the LinguaBeast podcast. I am Ariana Castañeda, your host of the day. In today's episode, I will be sharing some ways in which you can optimize your MA experience at the University of Guanajuato as a student of their MA in Applied Linguistics in ELT program. There are three sections to cover. First, I'll tell you about the academic visit opportunities that the MA program offers. Then, I will provide information about academic events the university organizes and about other prestigious academic events you should consider to experience. After that, I'll talk about the different instances you could request sponsorship to attend academic events or academic visits. Finally, I will answer a few questions we were asked regarding this topic on our social media. So without any further ado, let's begin. As our first stop, let me tell you about academic visits. Academic visits can be either national or international. They are offered every year with the purpose of allowing MA students to visit other universities, to attend lessons, present your research project to other students that could be from the host university, undergraduate, graduate, or postgraduate programs. It also depends on the university, but it is likely that professors also attend your presentation. These visits are about a week long, giving you enough time to do different activities that are usually planned between the host scholar and the MA coordinator, and or the scholar that will accompany you during this trip. It could be one of your professors or your thesis advisor. In my experience, the first academic visit I participated in was in Durango. Along with other students from my class and our seniors, we visited Universidad Juárez del Estado de Durango, UGED. More specifically, we visited their BA program in ELT. This time, the coordinator of the MA traveled with us and organized the visit along with the director of the language faculty in UGED. During our time there, we were able to observe some of their lessons. We also prepared workshops related to our thesis projects and held these workshops with students from different BA semesters. In my case, I had my workshop with students with the fifth semester, a semester prior to their last year. The workshop should be 1 to 2 hours long, but this may be different depending on the university you visit and the length of their lessons. Also, it is important to mention that as an MA student, you are expected to design a workshop until the fourth semester in your final year. However, you may be invited during your first year to join this opportunity. My advice would be to take advantage of this chance because you will gain experience being in front of a crowd. You'll also have an opportunity to assess your workshop and make improvements in content and or the materials you use. I should also stress the fact that if you are not that well advanced in your research project, you might want to wait until you get more acquainted with it. Finally, not all academic visits require preparing a workshop. It could be a presentation where you share your research project at any stage it may be, a proposal during your data collection, during your data analysis, after having analyzed the data to show results after completing your study. International academic visits are quite similar to the national ones, but what's there to know and what's different? These visits are usually offered once a year, but they could also happen every semester. Your coordinator will let you know when there's a call to participate. Since this visit requires the student to go out of the country, a professor must accompany you. That decision is made by the administration office. Most invitations are given by universities in the United States. Therefore, you also need to make sure you have your documents in norm. If you're considering to enroll to this MA program and you do not have a US visa, I suggest you start your process now. If you need to renew your passport and or your visa, I also encourage you to consider renewing them as soon as possible. To go to an international academic visit, you should send a motive letter to the MA office stating why you would like to be considered for this opportunity and how this visit will benefit you and your academic professional development. All students from any semester are welcome to submit their entries. After the submissions close, both committees will select one student. In my experience, I was lucky enough to be selected and to have the opportunity to visit the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. I stayed there for a week along my thesis advisor. During that week, I was able to attend MA and PhD lessons where I met amazing professors. I was able to network with several students from both programs. I also participated in a student-organized colloquium where I share my research project, and I had the chance to get a one-on-one session with the host scholar. During that session, I was provided with feedback regarding my project, and I had the space to ask any questions related to conducting research, academic presentations, the analysis of data, topics related to my research, etc. Besides the activities at the university, I also had the chance to attend a TESOL event that was happening in Columbus during the week I was there. Luckily, the event's theme was related to my research topic, and I didn't hesitate registering for it. Ohio State University campus was huge, and it was very beautiful. It has several libraries where students are allowed to stay in for as long as they need. It was truly inspiring to see plenty of students working hard on their projects. To get acquainted with many of them and to hold enriching conversations about ELT in the US was also a highlight. The research projects and their perceptions towards applied linguistics were enriching, and even if they differ with mine, it was a fruitful experience. As for academic events, there are several opportunities that you could consider and pursue as a student. I will talk about the two events organized by the University of Guanajuato, and then I'll share some options of conferences that I have participated in. At Universidad de Guanajuato, there is a Seminario Permanente de Lingüística Aplicada held every semester, in which all MA students are expected to participate. This is mostly a space for graduate and postgraduate students to share their research projects at different stages. Nevertheless, there are always keynote speakers invited from which students can also learn and stay updated on research trends within the applied linguistic field. Even though this event is organized by the Universidad de Guanajuato, there are also students invited from other universities and as well as other professors and other scholars. And if you're a first-time presenter in this case, you will only be expected to present your proposal, your research proposal. And these are shorter presentations, but the feedback sessions are very helpful for you to finalize the details for your proposal and continue with fresher ideas or different ideas from other people that attend and that they tell you about, they inform you about to consider during the early stages of your research project. In my experience, this event has helped me improve the way I communicate with the audience and the information that should be shared in academic contexts. The second event, organized by UGEM, is an international qualitative research conference that happens every 2 years. This is also a space for students to share their projects. Even though participation here is not mandatory, it is definitely recommended. Other academic events include AAAL, TESOL conferences, and events organized by other universities. For example, el Coloquio Internacional sobre Investigación en Lenguas Extranjeras, CILE. First of all, the American Association for Applied Linguistics Conference is reckoned as one of the most prestigious research-oriented events. It is a very large event where more than 1,000 presenters and 2K applicants get together for this academic opportunity. This event is usually divided in 5 categories: plenaries, individual papers, roundtables, 1-hour colloquium, and poster presentations. There are also some special sessions for networking, film projections, etc. TESOL conferences happen annually and there are many editions. In Mexico, for example, we have Mixed TESOL, but there are other conferences that you could pursue abroad. For example, Ohio TESOL. Coloquio Internacional sobre la Investigación en Lenguas Extranjeras is an event organized collaboratively by 3 universities, one from Spain, one from Mexico, and one from Colombia. Last year, I participated in the 14th colloquium, which was hosted by the National University of Colombia. This university organized conferences are usually open for students to present their projects. In Mexico, there are conferences in Mexico City, Monterrey, Veracruz, Puebla, Toluca, etc. The more you put yourself out there and share your project gives you feedback on what you need to improve, especially during the Q&A sessions after your presentation. If there are questions you cannot answer at the time, don't panic and provide your contact details, asking the attendees to send you an email with their questions so that you can provide a more informed answer. You don't have to know it all either. What matters here is that you embrace the experience and become a better presenter for next time. I was honored to be selected as a presenter for this year's conferences in AAAL. I was part of the roundtable discussions and it has been a great challenge, but also my most valuable achievement so far. Roundtable discussions include 3 presenters and the audience. It is a table that can have up to 10 people sitting, but keep in mind that if there is a lot of interest in the topics included in your table, there will be many people either sitting close to you or standing around you. In our case, our audience was in front of us and not behind us. The dynamic of the roundtable is that each presenter has 10 minutes to present their project, which in our case made 30 minutes in my table with 3 presenters. And afterwards, we had 30 minutes for discussion, questions and answers. There are staff members that keep the time, but there are also multiple roundtables happening at the same time, simultaneously. So beware of the loud noise, and you might want to consider keeping track of your time. I had the opportunity to attend many presentations of experienced scholars and other students from MA or PhD programs. I felt truly inspired the whole time, and I also had the opportunity to meet some of the most talented and intelligent people with whom I am still in contact. If you're interested in attending or submitting a proposal to present your research project, the next event will happen from March 22 to 25 in Denver. The call for proposals will be open as of June 3rd until July 15th. I will leave the link in the description box for you. During Ohio TESOL, I was only an attendee. I was aware of the event only after my host at Ohio State University told me about it. This event is a 2-day event where many U.S. language teachers attend to update their ELT knowledge. Ohio TESOL has a special fee for full-time students, which is usually not included in their website. So if you're interested, make sure you email the organization committee to ask for the student discount. In my experience, they provided a new link to register with a special fee. What I liked about Ohio TESOL is that they sent a survey prior to the event with the schedule, asking you to select the sessions of your interest and build your itinerary. This information is used for the first day of the event. When you reach the registration desk, they will be ready with your name tag and your schedule with the time and rooms you should go to for each day. A plus was that the fee included breakfast and lunch, so as a student, you can always save some money on meals. And coffee is always available throughout the entire event. To me, this was my first experience sharing space and holding conversations with language teachers in the United States. This event opened my eyes to problems experienced by teachers that I hadn't even consider before this opportunity. For example, dealing with immigrant students. In Mexico's context, this is not commonly experienced. Thus, these conferences serve as a medium to expand my notion of the field and the possible research areas I would be interested to explore in the future. If you would be interested to attend this event, the next conferences are scheduled for November 21, 22, and I will also leave the link in the description box. Now, let's talk about sponsorships. The first one would be CONACYT. The MA in Applied Linguistics in ELT is listed under CONACYT's scholarship program. This is a huge benefit for students who enroll at the University of Guanajuato. The MA Coordination Office will guide you through the process. If you're eligible, you'll be benefited with this scholarship. And although it is great financial support for students, if you choose to participate or attend events and or academic visits abroad, the scholarship will be helpful, but won't be enough to cover all of the expenses. Whether you're sponsored by CONACYT or not, there are 3 different instances at the University of Guanajuato that you could ask for financial support. For example, at your division department, this MA program is part of the Social Sciences and Humanities division. Therefore, this is the first department to apply for financial support. There isn't an established time to make a request. Nevertheless, I would avoid applying for support at the beginning of the academic year or nearing the end of the academic year. In the case of international academic visits, the university usually covers a part of the expenses. The administration should inform you about this and what they will be able to cover. Another department to apply for financial support is DAIP, Dirección de Apoyo a la Investigación y al Posgrado. They usually launch a campaign at the beginning of the year. You should receive an email with all the details. DAIP has several modules to provide financial support. So be careful when completing your application and make sure you are using the appropriate application format for the type of event and the support you are requesting. You could also make a request to the campus dean office. In my experience, the division office took care of sending my request to Rectoría. As a humble and honest opinion, the University of Guanajuato has many options to support students who want to excel academically and who want to go that extra mile. This is why, if you really want to take advantage of your time as an MA student here, I would encourage you to use your time wisely and set yourself goals to experience the most during your 2 years of study. The opportunities are available for you. Lastly, I've chosen 5 questions of a list that we were asked while preparing for this episode. Most questions were received via DMs on Instagram or asked directly to us. So let's take a look at them. The first question says, when did you receive the sponsorship? After I came back from my trip. So in general, you would apply for the sponsorship or the scholarship before the event. And if you have a positive response, you will receive an email with a list of documents that you need to provide before the trip. You have to pay for everything on your own, and after your trip, you will be reimbursed this money. The next question asks, was it a long process? Not really. Actually, I think the most time-consuming part is getting the documents together. If you want to be reimbursed faster, yes, like the money being reimbursed faster to you, but it's not a long process. How can I apply for financial support? As I mentioned before, there are different instances and different departments that you can request this financial support to, and it depends on the department. So I'll tell you about the division department. For example, you write your letter and then you send it to the coordinator, and the coordinator sends it to the division principal, and then the principal has read your application form or your format requesting this financial support, they will contact you directly via email, and they will let you know what the following steps are, whether it was a positive response or it was a negative response. If it's a positive response, then they will tell you what's next, what you need to do next. And also, they are very, supportive, and I have no complaints about how the support that I have received from them and the guidance as well. Everything has been very well explained, and they give it to you via email so that you can revisit all of the instructions as many times as you need until you understand what you need to do. But it's not a difficult process. Would you recommend applying for an academic visit? Definitely. I think this question is an easy answer for it. Definitely. You should take advantage of all of the opportunities that come your way. And if you, the thing is that you try. The opportunities are offered for all students in the MA program. So it might be also the case that you don't have a positive response. But the thing here is that you send your request, that you apply for these opportunities. And if you do end up getting a positive response, then don't hesitate and do whatever it takes so that you finalize this experience, because it will definitely change your vision and your notion of the profession as an English teacher with TESOL conferences, for example. Or if you're mostly interested in conducting research, then I would advise you to also participate in conferences in which you can share your academic projects, your research projects. So definitely don't even think about it and just do it. The last question says, which experience is your favorite? I don't think I can choose only one experience, but I can give you my top two from the experiences that I have gone through. So in number one, definitely I would say AAAL. Why AAAL? Because it was difficult to apply for, and it was difficult, and the chances were nearly null for an MA student to be accepted. And my proposal was accepted, which was a big deal for me personally, academically, and professionally. So even though it was a challenge to prepare for this event and to also be sure that I was going to be able to go through this experience successfully, it was a big deal, and it took a lot of effort, not only from my side, but also from my thesis advisor. Luckily enough, my thesis advisor has been there with me, supporting me all the way since the first steps of my research project until now. So her support has also meant a lot to me. And without her, I don't think I would have been able to do this as successfully as it was. Second of all, Ohio State University, the academic visit. When I went to Ohio State University, it was my first time traveling to the United States. So that was a big deal for me. I had dreamt about going to the United States for many, many years. I think for most part of my life, I've been wanting to travel to the US and to travel around the US. For different reasons, I wasn't able to accomplish that until Ohio State University academic visit. And it was a great experience, and it was also a big achievement on my personal behalf. What are the odds that your first visit to the United States would be this great, right? Like also doing something that you're passionate about, and visiting one of the best universities in the United States, and having the opportunity to have conversation with different scholars. For example, in Ohio State University, in one of the lessons, one professor, she mentioned that she had a lot of books to give away for free and to her students, and I happened to be there. And she also invited me to select all of the books that I would like to take with me back to Mexico. And no strings attached. The only thing is that I would definitely make use of those books. If not, like give them away to someone who would enjoy them. And that was a great experience, like having access to a lot of books from different genres, and just having the opportunity to be there and experience how education is in a different country. That's also very interesting. And as a researcher, you start thinking about the differences. Now, like you start thinking about beyond the person like the scholar. You start thinking about beyond the topic that's being like discussed within the lesson, and it was just a great experience. And I met people that were very inviting as well. All the students there in the classes were very welcoming, and if they were, for example, reading a chapter and discussing a chapter that they had for homework to read, then I was able to, like, some of the students got closer to me and they share their books or they share their tablets where I could see the chapter that they were discussing, and to also be able to join the conversation. And that kind of kindness was also great to experience. So definitely, if you have the opportunity, take advantage of those moments, yes, those experiences, and make them yours, and live them, and make the most out of them in general. So those would be my top two. I hope that the information I shared is of help for future MA applicants. And let us know if you'd like us to answer any other questions. By the way, to contact us, make sure to follow us, like our content, comment, or send us a private message. All of our social media links will be in the description box as well. Thank you for being part of this episode. This has been the LinguaBees podcast. Until next time.